always, for your time this Thursday evening, Makwe. Let's start with the news that I've just read, that there have been concerns that National Treasury has been losing some critical skills over the years. I mean, what do you make of the latest announcement of the DG's departure?
I think it caught most of us by surprise, given the comments that we got from the finance minister that they want to retain the guy so that there can be some continuity. And I think also market participants are not too happy, especially money market traders, because look what happened to the rand. When the US dollar was holding at a 2-year high, the rand was steady. But now we can see that after the news, we've started seeing the rand weakening almost 0.4%. But now we are talking about a dollar which has started to weaken, moving from that 2-year high, but the rand unfortunately continues to weaken, and it becomes an issue because, as we all know, the good job that Donde has managed to be doing, friendly to bankers, investors, everyone, and so far he managed to build that confidence around him. So I think we're not buying into that story. We're a bit worried up until they prove to us that we don't have to worry. They get someone more credible, and as they indicated, they fill those senior positions which are empty, because we cannot continue to operate like that, especially when we're looking to implement all those reforms to make sure that our economy gets out of the wood. So this is a very critical time for our economy to be losing the likes of Tondo Mkhatshane.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on the movements of the rand, because like you say, it's been having a really good run, and then announcements of this nature are made and it has an impact on the local unit. Let's go into that now. The overall market performance, what did you make of it today? And that includes the rand, which I think is around 14.60 rand against the US dollar. I mean, at some stage this week, we were all the way down to around 14.40 rand, if I remember correctly.
I think market participants, we just have to be honest with ourselves. This whole issue after the minutes that we got from the US yesterday, that the guys are prepared to go more aggressive when it comes to interest rate hikes, and also they'll be shrinking their balance sheet. I think markets had a very serious sell-off, but this morning we opened up okay. The markets were more calmer, but reality started kicking in, and we see that generally the markets are in the red. And to be honest, maybe we don't want to accept that we are facing another taper tantrum that we've seen before. That yes, as much as we thought we've baked in this whole issue about interest rates going up, but the concern continues to be, and it's not just for the markets, it's for the general economy, that you start having a rapid increase when it comes to interest rates. That definitely is going to stand to our economy, and hence we see the kind of reaction. That definitely is going to affect our consumer sentiment, and we know most economies, including our economy, is more than 60% driven by consumer demand.
Let's speak about Anglo-American Platinum. Exciting times for this miner. Car makers are looking for palladium after the Russia sanctions. I mean, your thoughts on that, and really just the outlook for players in the PGM space like Amplats.
Remember, Russia accounts for almost 25 to 30% of the global palladium production. So with the sanctions on Russia, then obviously people are starting to look into the likes of Anglo Platinum. But yes, we know Anglo Platinum as it is now, they've got long-term contracts. That's how many companies operate. So they first have to satisfy that before they can start accommodating new customers. But as it is, it looks okay going forward. But we have to be careful. Russia can find a way to sell their palladium, whether they go through the likes of China, stuff like that, we don't know. And whether our palladium prices will start carrying a premium and the likes of the Chinese palladium start to be sold at a discount is something to be seen. But yes, the good news are people are starting to look at the likes of Anglo Platinum to be able to fill that gap that is coming from the Russian supply.